So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world. And welcome to another episode of Is It That Bad? Where we take a look at an album that maybe got mixed reviews and we listen to it. And in this case, it's a brand fucking new album that we're talking about. It's an album that just came out today or yesterday, if when you're watching. And we're talking about the new album by Coldplay, album number 10, and it's called Moon Music. And when I was watching this album cover, I thought like, hello, 30 Seconds to Mars.
Yeah,
Remember, it looks like the same cover from 30
I knew you
Seconds
were
to
going to
Mars.
say that.
Yes, I just watched it. So yeah, this is Moon Music, the band's number 10th album, and Chris, Chris from Coldplay said that there are only two more Coldplay albums. So, yay or nay, depending on what you think of the band. I would say yay. So yeah,
Hmm.
this is the album number 10, and apparently he describes it. It's 10 songs about love. Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
Ah.
yeah,
that
that's what
sounds
happens when you divorce Gwyneth Paltrow. You write this music. But yeah, he divorced her a long time ago. So for this episode, I'm joined by Chili from Live Listen Race, the man who produces iron from his lungs. Chili, how are you, man?
Good thanks, and yourself, man. Yeah, good to be
We're
back
good.
on the channel as well.
Yes, and hopefully uh, his internet won't give problems. I blame Coldplay for that. It's like they're going to shit on my album. So all the way in Mexico, we got JC Rock and Metal Reviews for the I don't know how much times on this channel. So JC, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks.
Yeah, and rounding up the panel, we have Rock of All Ages. How are you, Rock of All Ages?
I'm doing all right. Could be better, could be worse.
That what got you so blue? Was it listening to this album?
Actually, no, but we don't really have time for that.
Ah, and finally, you have me, Hector. Obviously, I'm here, and today I promise I won't be such a tool, just like the
No.
shirt that I'm wearing. So
We can
yeah,
try.
yes, I'll try. So we're gonna, the drill, people. We have the free rounds, and we discuss our first impressions of when we listen to this. And the only one who listened to this before us was Chili because he's in the future. Uh,
Hmm.
And then on round number two, we're gonna pick three, or I dare say we could pick four from this album. What do you say? Who votes for?
Sure, I
The
guess.
four.
I vote for. We
Okay.
can vote. We
Yeah.
can talk about four songs. And on round three, we'll give it a thumbs up, thumbs sideways, or thumbs down. So yeah, let's start. Chile hasn't been. It's been a while since Chile's been on the channel. So Chile,
Mm.
your first impressions of listening to Moon Music by Coldplay.
Music. And I apologize to your listeners. Unfortunately, I am back on board here. But yes, of course, I am from the future since I am Australian, so I can predict everything that happens and all the reviews and everything. So maybe I know the answers ahead of time as to what reviews are going to come out here. But Coldplay, damn, when you sent me this email, I had to go for a trip down memory lane here because I haven't listened to Coldplay in probably 20 years. When you sent me that email, I thought, damn, I'm gonna go back and listen to Parachutes. That was actually a really good album. I thought, it was fun going back to that one and A Rush of Blood to the Head or whatever it was called. So yeah, it was interesting, but I haven't gone and I haven't listened to a lot of stuff after that, after those two records, I should say. They kind of wandered off and did, I don't know what pop rock stuff they're kind of doing that they are doing at the moment, I should say. I did go back and listen to Music of the Spheres, and I should probably add as well that Moon Music is supposed to be a follow-on from that record as well. Apparently, the full name of this record is something like Moon Music, Music of the Spheres Part 2 or something. Fun little fact as well, Music of the Spheres is also a Mike Oldfield record. So anyway,
Oh,
that's that for you.
you did your
So yeah, when
research.
did a little bit of research on that one, yeah. The only thing I think, what was it? Feels Like I'm Falling in Love, I think was the first
Yeah.
single from this record. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that was the only song I had to judge before obviously the album dropped, and I'm listening to it going, yeah, sounds like that typical generic Coldplay type of sound. So I didn't have any high hopes for this record when I was going into it. That being said, when I did play the first track, Moon Music, I was caught on the back foot actually. And I've got to say, like, it's this very nice, almost electronic symphonic kind of piece, and is actually pretty decent, to begin with. So there's this really nice piece that I'm beginning with here, and then it kind of jumps into the rest of this album, um, and it starts to mash it up a little bit. So we'll go obviously further on into the track listings. Let's just say it felt, I guess, somewhat disjointed, but somewhat nice at the same time, I guess would be my first impressions.
Nice. Yeah. And I can see what you say about the first song. So what about you, JC?
Yeah. Well, kind of the same thing with Chile. I was a fan back in the day. Of the first three albums are not that bad. Actually, the second one, Rush of Blood to the Head, that one was actually pretty good.
Mhm.
And then I think the last one I listened to was from 2008, Viva La Vida, or 2009, whenever that came out.
2008.
But after that, I never really paid much attention to them. I think I had a digital download of that when he mentioned about the music of the Spears or whatever. I don't. I had one of them. I don't remember the name. But anyway, I've been really listening to this band and going back to it. I think there's some stuff that it's okay. Some stuff I didn't really like that much, but I think it just like I want the old Coldplay. Like I need the guitars and
Yes.
like there's barely any guitars on this album. It's just it's all like electronic and like pop and
Yeah.
kind of sounds like computer generated. So that's my initial thoughts. I think there's some stuff here that's okay, about just to some stuff that I have a good four tracks for the next round, but that's all I have here.
Yeah. So what about you, Rock of All Ages?
The fact that Hector wants to pick four songs means I already know what he's going to give this album.
You never know, man.
Yeah.
You never
Well,
know.
last week when we got the Zoom invite for this, I decided to challenge myself and listen to all of their studio albums, from Parachutes to their previous album, Music of the Spheres. And I am a defender of their first four albums, everything from Parachutes to Viva La Vida. I think those are great records. And then obviously starting with Milo Xyloto in 2011, they turned pop. And that,
Just a bit.
although I will say, Ghost Stories in 2014 was pretty okay. And I was pleasantly surprised by their 2019 album, Everyday Life. But that album also kind of marked a turning point where they leaned into an identity as as a group, they're an advocate for global unity and peace. And maybe that was kind of their mission before, but now it's actually being reflected in the music. But
Oh, yeah.
while Everyday Life was more subdued in sound, Music of the Spheres was like Milo Xyloto, big, grand pop music. And, as I said, with the whole global unity thing, they're leaning into that as well with bringing in artists from other countries. Like there's a song on here with uh, a rap with artists from Britain, from Nigeria, from all over the place. And also their previous album, that album's big pop hit featured BTS before they split up.
Wow.
And this album,
Who's BTS?
Oh no,
the K-pop group.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't know. Thank God.
Well, I mean, they split up 2 years
What a
ago,
shame.
so
What
yeah,
a shame.
not really important right
I
now.
thought you said BTK. I'm like, that's a serial killer.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. So this album, it being a continuation of Music of the Spheres, I actually kind of think it's slightly better. But I'll go more into that later.
Okay. So my first impressions of this, Yes, the first song kind of sounds like it sounded like a movie score soundtrack, which I thought was a nice beginning to it, and then it went all over the place. I think the guest stars don't do it for me that much, but yeah, there's some interesting stuff. But I just wanna show something here. What the fuck is this? There's a rainbow. You see, there's a
Oh yeah,
song with
their
an
last
Is this
album
the
had
emoji.
that
first?
too. Their last album
I
had
was
that
gonna
too. Some of
say.
the song titles were just like emojis.
That's fucking lazy. Like, like put the word for rainbow, man. Like when I saw that, I'm like, oh God.
I think that song is officially called Alien Hits / Alien Radio.
Oh, how the fuck are you supposed to know
No, it's
that?
called Rainbow.
Well, no, I know that because
I
that's what
listened to
it's
it on
called on
YouTube,
their
and
YouTube
yeah,
page. That's what they call
Oh,
it on their
right.
YouTube page.
yeah.
Then why don't they just put that on the fucking Spotify?
I don't know, man. They're just kind of full of themselves, I guess.
Rainbow just
They,
sounds better.
there's the
It's
rainbow.
easier to type in a rainbow emoji than type in that original track title. That's why.
Ah, yeah, I just, the emojis. I think I have something for emojis because my kids made me watch emoji movie like 5 times. Like so,
Why
like
would
I'm
you do that to
Oh,
yourself?
because I have kids,
oof.
man. I don't have a say in what I watch. I'm a
No, you can't
hostage,
watch
okay?
Reservoir Dogs
They make
anymore.
me watch that shit.
Dude, there were better animated movies in 2017.
But they made me Rock of all Ages. They made me watch that. So
Is,
yeah, going on
is,
to so that you know how I feel about emojis. So yeah, it's an album that I love their first three albums. I think I have A Rush of Blood to the Head on vinyl. I think it's a classic album. And the third album, I also enjoyed, songs like Fix You. After Viva la Vida, they kind of lost me because they started getting too poppy. And I think I'm gonna say from here, the worst thing about this album is not the music, it's the corny ass lyrics, which I'll talk
mm.
more about in round number two. So yeah, those are our first impressions. So let's go to round number two. So Chili, which four tracks did you pick and why?
Okay. Call me again on the back foot here. I actually selected three, but I will pick a fourth one at whim. So I'm going to mention the ones that I did pick first, and we're going to go starting with We Pray. So, yeah, We Pray, huh? So, you pray, I pray, we all pray for this song to be skipped because, you know, it feels like a Drake song with these beats. Did anyone else get kind of that notion or something? Like, it is
Yeah,
very
yeah,
unbecoming for this
yeah.
band to be mixing this song or type of beats anyway into their music. It it's just I don't know. I don't even know what to make of this modern sounding Coldplay. I get their evolution, from Parachutes to X and Y and Viva La Vida and all that. I don't get the evolution to Beats by Dre or whatever the hell this is. I don't know. So yeah, especially because when you're listening to this song as well, these beats, they don't mix well with Chris's vocals. They're very odd for what you're listening to here. It's such a misstep here, and it kind of blows my mind. But the guest spots here suit the song well. But
I don't know who
Chris's
they are.
vocals, I don't know who they are either. Like I
I
thought I
don't.
knew Little Sims, but
Okay, so you have British rapper Little Simz, Nigerian
yeah,
singer Burna Boy, who's big in England, and then
okay.
Oh,
Palestinian Chilean musician Elyanna, and Argentinian singer Tiny.
see, I feel like
See?
such a boomer. I don't know who the fuck these people are.
The thing is, I didn't know the last two. I'd heard of the first two.
I
I
heard
have
of Little
no
Sims.
idea
I think I've heard
who none of
one
those
song
people
by
are.
them. Yeah. I've definitely heard of Little Sims, and the only reason it stuck in my mind is because of the
If
video
they put
game series,
Bad
obviously.
Bunny, I wouldn't know who Bad Bunny is. But
Bad
I
Bunny.
don't, Bad Bunny. They would have been like,
Yeah.
"We pray," and he would have been singing about having sex with
I
different
guarantee
women.
you that at some point Coldplay and Bad Bunny have talked about doing something together.
Oh yeah, that's probably on the
I'm
11th
sure
or
they
the
have.
12th record. 100% it'll happen. Calling it now.
I'm calling
But
it
yeah,
the
like
last
we
song.
But yeah, especially these rappers, it just doesn't feel like it suits the narrative of the music that Coldplay offer. It doesn't suit it at all. no way. This song, it feels like a jigsaw puzzle just put together with a hammer, like a sledgehammer at that. It's just like whack. That's a song. Put it on the record next to Rainbows. You know, I mean, I knew Coldplay had changed, but really, they want to put this one out there for the fans. Guess who? I don't know. I don't want to rubbish the fans and say, this is probably just brainless drivel that they'll swallow up and everything. But hey, I guess it's got 100. How many views did it have? 111,000 or 11 million or something like that on Spotify just before. It had a lot of counts. 110 million. 34 million. That's a lot of plays. So obviously people are swallowing this shit up. Anyway, I hate it. I'm not going to listen to that track. My next one is Good Feelings. I feel like this song, shit. I feel like this is the song that you hear in the background when someone is trying to sell you on some timeshare idea. You know, it's got that upbeat property drone shot vibe to it. It's just,
Oh my
excuse
God,
me.
you're killing me, man.
Like you can hear it in your head right now. I said it. You can just see this like drone shot going up to a house, and Good Feelings is playing in the background. Sorry for my infant in the background, people, but she's only telling us how I feel about Good Feelings. See, she doesn't like it, but yeah. So, although it's really hard to hate this song because the bass line is really groovy on here, you know. It's a really solid bass line to this tune. Otherwise, a very generic song, and it wouldn't surprise me if an instrumental version was released in the future and thus making it better. Or at least it might be sampled by some dance club DJ, at your local nightclub or something. So, yeah, All My Love is the next one. Oh God. My God, could you write a more sappy and contrived song that sounds like you want to be the Beatles in 2024? I just can't do it. All My
The
Love is like,
lyrics
I
on
don't know.
that one are atrocious.
They're
Led
just
Zeppelin sold.
horrific. Yeah, they're just horrendous. They're terrible. All My Love, it's like, what is the grandchildren of the Flower Children movement? This is probably it. 1960 was that away Coldplay. So do you want to go over there? Sorry, it just got a bit louder. But yeah, 1960 was a long time ago, and this All My Love kind of singing about it is just, oh, I can't do it. I just cannot. So yeah, it's super overdone subject. It's very preachy, but I've heard worse messages being peddled by other artists on these Is It That Bad series.
Oh yeah,
I'll just leave it at those three for now because my daughter, I'm going to mute myself for a minute.
yeah. So JC, what songs did you pick and why?
Okay. The first one is going to be Good Feelings, and I kind of like what Chili said because in my notes I put something similar. I put it sounds like that royalty free music that like is on like TikTok or like any kind of type of like video. That's what it sounds like. It just sounds like that stock music like that like you hear in like the background of the video. That's what I put in my notes because that's what it sounded like to me. So Good
Yes.
Feelings is the first one. Then
Mm,
track six, which is the one that I guess is that Rainbow song. But for me, I have Alien Hits Alien Radio because I listen to it on YouTube Music. This one is just boring, ambient, like space music, weird. Like I don't like ambient music at all. It's just like boring to me. Like if I want to hear like ambient music or something like laid back, I'm gonna listen to Pink Floyd. Like I can listen to any Pink Floyd album like 100 times in a row. Like I'll pick something like that
it
over
also sounds
some
like a
kind of
very
like
generic ripoff of like Radiohead.
yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Not
it's
That's
just
like
not
very
that's
the
like
like an
first time they've
insult
been
to
yeah,
accused.
alien
Radiohead.
or yeah, that kind of sounds like radio now, but even that. My next one is gonna be Eterna. Another one, it kind
Yeah.
of sounds like that royalty-free music that you hear. It just sounds like stock music, and it just kind of sounds like they just like found some presets on like some computer program to like make music and they just like put it together. It's just another one just very boring. And my fourth one is One World because it's just very long, takes too long to start. There's like too many birds. It's like ambient music. It just like drags on, like doesn't really like go anywhere. And then I think like a minute before like the song ends, I could go silent and you think the song's over, but then
Yeah.
they start it up again and they play like this weird, like almost like a rock and roll type of thing. So I found that boring as for like most of the second half of the album I found very boring, although in the next round I'll mention a few things that I thought were okay. So those are my four. Yeah.
Okay. So what about you, Rock of All Ages?
All right, so I guess I'm gonna challenge myself again and do 4 tracks. First up, this is ascending order, so fourth worst is Eterna. I don't recall Chris Martin doing a falsetto very often, but while it
Yeah.
took me by surprise, the the comparison I had was to when Adam Levine in Maroon 5 does falsettos.
Yeah.
I will admit, this one is not nearly as irritating. I also liked the outro, so that's why it's fourth worst. Third worst is I Am a Mountain, or IAAM, as it's abbreviated. And I just wrote down, this sounds like the band would have released it as a single.
Yeah, I could hear that.
Yeah. And then second worst is Good Feelings. And I'm surprised neither of you have brought this up. It features a writing credit from Nile Rodgers.
Who?
Oh,
Nile Rodgers from
Does it?
Chic.
From
Yeah,
sorry, who?
yeah, he's a popular songwriter, right? Yeah.
He's worked with someone you might have heard of, David Bowie. He did Let's Dance with him.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's true.
Ah.
Oh yeah,
Well,
he worked with the Let's Dance album. Yeah.
yeah.
David
Well,
Bowie, Madonna, Duran Duran. He's worked with everybody.
Okay.
that
Okay.
that
Didn't
doesn't
know
keep
that.
you from writing shit.
Yeah, I know. But also, this song also features co-writing and co-production credits from the Chainsmokers, who previously had a hit with
Really?
Coldplay with the song Something Just Like This, which, fun fact, I heard on the radio driving to work this morning. I guess
Ah.
they figured, hey, Something Just Like This was a hit. Why not do it again?
Why not?
Other than that, I
Especially
said
Chainsmokers.
the song is just very sugary.
Mhm.
Then
Hmm.
least favorite song is
Oh, yeah.
Jupiter, which
Ah.
is also very sugary. And I had written down on here, Chris Martin sounds like the guy from Five for Fighting.
I don't even know who Fight for Fighting is, so I don't
They
know.
had that
Oh,
song, When You Only Got 100 Years to Live.
Oh, I thought he
yeah,
was
I recall
channeling
that.
Jack Johnson.
I
Oh,
guess I
Yeah,
could
I was thinking like Jack Johnson or like John
Yeah,
Mayer, like that kind of thing.
yeah.
you can
but
hear
Like,
all of that in there.
like my what? Gwyneth Paltrow's a Wonderland.
I would listen to Jack Johnson before like the past
Me
decade or
too.
so.
Me
Oh
too.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So yeah, those are my 4 picks.
Okay.
Mm.
So
Very
yeah,
good.
I would say good picks, different picks.
Yeah.
So my picks, We Pray. I don't know. When I listened to that song, I thought it sounded like a newer version of We Are the World.
Mm.
Like we are the
Sip shit.
world, we pray the children. I don't know, and I didn't know who none of those people are. And you know what? I was so lazy that I didn't do my research on who they were. And I can see the comments like you shouldn't talk about them and you didn't research them. And this is what I say, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I did see comments like that about the Kat Von D video.
Yes, like you cannot talk about Kat Von D if you don't research her. I'm like, what the hell? Like you certainly didn't listen to the first album. So
Who
yeah, but
cares?
yeah, who cares? But with Coldplay, yes,
She
I'm
did the
listening.
first one? Oh fuck.
Yeah, this
Yes,
was the second.
yes, Sheila, go
Anyway,
revisit it. It's got an
I've got to
interlude.
review that second one, and I yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. We should have done the Paris Hilton one, but
Oh
Yeah,
fuck
we
no.
should have.
You don't want to do that.
no, I don't want to do that. So yeah, I thought We Pray. It's just yeah, it sounded disjointed, it's corny, and yes, he's got a lot of views, but that doesn't, that doesn't mean it's good, people. Something can have a lot of views and still be crap, and that song is pure
Yeah.
crap. Uh Good Feelings. And Good Feelings says
Mhm.
that it has someone who sings with him, an Ayra Starr. And
Yeah.
yeah, that one says something about the lyrics are just atrocious. They're saying like is that the one that say that they fall in love with the sun, or I don't know. It's just the corniest love songs ever. I can't remember the lyrics right now, but I just remember that it sounded like pretty generic music. And now that Chile said, I can't unhear it. Now I'm thinking they're trying to sell me some timeshares with that song. Yeah, it's an
Which is
atrocious.
actually ironic because he was also on that Modern Family. He was on an episode of that trying to
Oh,
buy
yeah,
a
he did
Yeah.
have
house.
cameo.
Yeah. So yeah, that Good Feeling song, it's no bueno. It's
Mm.
it's really bad. Then I picked. I don't know.
Just take one at random.
uh, all my love. I just think it's like I'm like they're trying to be the Beatles.
Mm.
Because the song and there's like she like I love you if it rains. I love it's like I love you and I'm like oh my god shut up. Like
What's the
it was
British? What is
just it's just so corny. And apparently he said in an interview that that's their last single. They're not putting singles for their next two albums, and I say thank you. Uh, so yeah, I thought it's pretty generic. And the Rainbow one, it's okay. I just found the ending to that Rainbow one where there's like, I've seen a rainbow, I've seen clouds, and
Okay,
I'm like,
Kermit the Frog.
yeah, it sounded like
Lay
Kermit the
off the
Frog.
acid.
I've divorced Miss Piggy. Uh,
Oh yeah, I remember that.
yes, they divorced. I'm devastated to this day. And but that's not the one I'm gonna pick because even though it's not that great, it's just the ending that I felt was corny as hell. But
Yeah.
One World, I don't. First of all, when I hear the the title of the song One World, I think that they're trying to sell me like a credit card. One World. Get your points. So no, we're not gonna do Motley Crue yet. It's my Zoom thing saying that we're doing the Motley Crue. Not yet.
I just got that one.
So yeah. So it's like that One World, and it ends like when it says like oh we're just love and it's all lovey dovey, and then you think it ends, but it comes back again. I just think it's a disaster of an ending to a track. And I read a review about this album that said that this album sounded like it could have been played at a kid's party because it was so sugary.
Mm.
I think I got
I mean,
diabetes listening to it.
when One World comes back in, there's no singing though.
No,
It's
no,
the
no, thank God.
reprieve.
But yeah, yeah, it's a really bad way to finish an album. So yeah, we've all picked some tracks. So
Oh
now
yeah.
we're gonna do the third and final round where we vote and we give a thumbs up, thumbs sideways, or thumbs down. So Shili, your final thoughts on this one?
Yeah, okay. So maybe I'm starting to understand the popularity behind Coldplay. When I was first listening to this album, I thought, we're really covering this for Is It That Bad? I actually don't mind it. Is this going to be an album that I give it a thumbs up to almost? And I'm just thinking about it, playing it through in my head and just going, at first playthrough, it's actually kind of decent. And I guess when you're listening to kind of this pop music, I guess you could say, from the surface level, you're not really delving too much into it, and it sounds nice on a generic run through, or maybe to a playlist or something like that. But then when I was going back and listening to it, obviously for the name of this record, I'm like, fuck, these tracks suck. There are some just terrible tracks, which we've obviously mentioned, and all of us have covered very different songs here for very different reasons. So I guess that being said, I will sing its praises in certain sections. While JC doesn't really like ambient music, I actually do love ambient music. with Boards of Canada, for example, and other
Great band.
music such as Boards of Canada is amazing. Aphex Twins and other bands like that. So when I heard Moon Music or Rainbows, or whatever the name of that stupid track is, fucking Rainbow Emoji. Um, I'm like, oh, this is not bad. It's kind of if Moon Music was the direction the entire album was going, then this could be a very different kind of review, I guess. But then how many fans are you actually going to trick into listening to your music at the end of the day? So, there were certainly some good tracks on here that I really did like. Once again, praise to Moon Music and Jon Hopkins for helping out there. But then, yeah, it's weighed down by a whole bunch of crap in between and gets very generic and dull very quickly, So for me, thumb sideways, that's just where it is. I can't give a thumbs up and I can't give a thumbs down for it.
Mm. Yeah. At least it wasn't Imagine Dragons.
No, fuck no.
Oh, yeah. You were spared from that one, Shelly.
Yeah.
So
Thank
what about you,
Christ for that.
JC?
I think there were some songs where I thought they were okay. Like the single, I think it was a single, right? Feels Like I'm Falling in Love. Kind of a catchy song. I mean, I thought it wasn't too bad. Kind of sticks in your head if you listen to it. So I thought that was bad. A lot of you mentioned that We Pray that you didn't like. I thought it wasn't that bad. I know it was more like a rap type of song, but I could tolerate that one. And then Jupiter actually didn't really hate that one either. It's kind of I thought of it like a John Mayer song, but like you said, or Jack Johnson, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
It was okay, but I think after those first, well, first of all, the first song was just like an intro. Like I don't know, it was just like kind of boring for me. But I mean, tracks 2, 3, and 4 were okay, but then after that, there's nothing really I liked except for the I'm a Mountain was kind of okay, and then the other one, All My Love, I didn't really hate that. Kind of cheesy, but it kind of like reminded me of like some of their older stuff. But I think as a whole, I don't see myself going back to it. So I don't like the songs that I like aren't enough to save it. So I'm going to go thumbs down for me. I think it's just
Okay.
something I'm not going to listen to again. Yeah.
So we have a
Yeah.
thumbs sideways and a thumbs down. Rocket for Ages.
I would like to point out a little fact for you guys. While this was big in while Feels Like I'm Falling in Love was a big hit in a couple of European countries, over in the US, it peaked at number 81 on the Hot 100.
Which one?
Jeez,
Feels
that's
Like I'm
low
Falling
for
in Love.
Coldplay.
Mm.
That is very low for Coldplay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you'll recall, the big single from the last album, My Universe, that was a number one hit. Although now they don't have BTS to help them with that. So make
Maybe
of
they
that
should call
information.
BTK. It's a joke.
I mean, make of that information.
Killed it.
Perhaps controversially, maybe I should
Oh, wow.
maybe I should listen to it again and like really pay attention to the lyrics, and then maybe I would give it a worse score. But I do think it is harmless. And just like judging this against the other Is It That Bad albums I've listened to, it's not one of the worst. I'm going to give it a thumbs up.
Oh, so we have a thumb sideways, a thumbs down, and a thumbs up. So it
But
goes to
I
me.
will recommend a bunch of other Coldplay albums before this, though.
Yeah.
Asterix. Thumbs
Yeah.
up with an asterisk.
So I can say, this isn't the worst thing I've heard. It's better than the Imagine Dragons album because at least I liked a few section of tracks here, but it's just so fucking dull and boring at the end of the day. This is a very boring record that I'm not going back to. And I think the songs that are bad are really bad, especially the lyrics. I don't know what happened to Chris Martin, but he used to write good lyrics, but he's getting worse, and worse with each album. It's like he forgot how to write. And for that, Gwyneth Paltrow, I blame you. Yes,
There
you
was
win.
there was an interview he did, I think before he married her, where he admitted our lyrics are kind of shit.
No, I blame Gwyneth Paltrow. You broke his heart, you broke his spirit, and now you made him write more shit. And even though he's dating Dakota Johnson, I don't know. She did 50 Shades of Grey, so she's a
Wait,
shitty
they're
actress.
dating? Oh,
So
good.
Wait,
yeah,
what? Lucky
uh, I
prick.
did my research. She,
Oh.
On just that. On
yes,
Oh,
just
just
I
yeah,
like.
yeah. Who's that?
I
Dakota
need
Johnson. There we go.
I need
God,
to
she's only
know who my
35.
is it that bad people date people. Like who is
Oh,
Chris Martin getting it on with? Like
oh
I gotta
yeah.
know. So yeah, she's not helping him write better lyrics, but I blame you, Gwyneth Paltrow. And uh, Chris Martin, please write a song called "What's in the Box."
Shit, Antonio Banderas is her stepdad.
Did you
That's
get the
weird.
reference? I'm doing a Seven reference. Remember the
Oh,
Okay.
what's in the box?
in the box. So he should do a song called even you know what? He doesn't even have to call it that. He just has
Do
to
the
put the
box
emoji,
emoji.
the box emoji.
Just put a
I love it
head.
already.
Just put the head emoji and a box emoji. Which movie is this relating to?
Yes, and that would be it. But yeah, uh it's a thumbs down for me. It's not the worst thing I've heard, but I'm not going back to it, and I can't say it's good. It's not the worst record of the year, but
God,
it's
no.
also not good. So yeah, two thumbs down, one thumb sideways, one thumbs down. So Rock of All
Uh,
Ages, I'm sorry to say that this goes in the trash.
Oh, is that how it
goes in,
works?
it goes in the bit. It goes in the
It
box.
goes, it goes in the emoji of the trash.
It goes yeah in the
Yes.
emo in the
Wait,
emoji.
so two thumbs down, a thumb sideways, and a thumbs up mean in the trash.
Yeah,
Yes,
because it's two
Yeah.
thumbs down.
two thumbs down. And
Math.
sideways is still good. So yeah, it's going in the trash.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Oh
And
man.
yes. So yes, that's how it's played, people. So
That's fine. It's fine. I understand. I understand.
oh, dude, don't hate me.
Oh no,
So
it's not you.
Coldplay's
Not you.
Moon Music. So three people here think it's well, Chile's undecided, but it's he's hanging on the balance. But at least someone saved it here. So yeah, yeah, I would say if you want, it's better than Imagine Dragons. That's my only defense. It's better than the Imagine Dragons record.
I
That's
think
it.
we can all agree on that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
better than that one. But yeah, it's nothing to brag home about. So yeah, we want to know from you people. And you know what? Don't feel bad, Rockefeller. Yes, my stepbrother, I put today on Facebook that I was doing this, and he said, "Don't you dare talk about Coldplay." I'm like, "Oh, I will."
Uh,
He's like, "Leave Coldplay alone." But yeah. So coming up next, spoiler alert, if you saw that, we're gonna talk about the new Motley Crue EP, which is called Cancelled, and it also came out this Friday, and that one's coming up this Sunday. And since that one has only 3 tracks, it will be a different format. So I want to before I go, I want to thank my guest, Shili from Live Listen Erased. He does uh, album reviews. He does the live listen erase where we take an album that we would listen live, one that they erase. So it's pretty fun. So subscribe to his channel. There's JC Rock and Metal Reviews if you want rock history, rankings, and album reviews. Subscribe to him. And finally, Rock of All Ages. If you want to know, like, it's his channel is like a podcast, so you don't see him, and he gives you facts about songs through years and stuff like that. So subscribe to him as well. And obviously, if you haven't subscribed to me, do so as well. I do this Is It That Bad interviews and album reviews. So until next time, couchers, this is Hector, the shield dude on a couch, and we'll see you next time on another episode of Is It That Bad? Thank you and goodbye.